What's up, guys? We're taking a walk around Ashtin's property.
Yep.
And doing a little Q&A. We had some questions posted on our Instagram accounts, and we got them written down here. And we're gonna go through them and answer some of your questions about us.
Yeah, that helps figure out like what you guys want to know more about us, and hopefully it's interesting. Get some stuff that'll help you guys in the future.
Yeah, there's some pretty funny ones in there too. So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
Thanks.
So I started doing sports when I was 6 or 7, and my first sport was Taekwondo.
Ooh.
And I was black belt by the age of 10. And but then I did football, baseball were the big ones, and then I quit football because I tore my ACL, and then boom, it was all track from there on out.
Solid career. All right, well, I'm pretty boring. I'm just a track runner. Been running since I was born, feels like. I guess 4 or 5 years old. Dad was the track coach. My parents were track athletes.
4 years old.
Threw me in track meets as soon as he could. He's like, this is what you're gonna do. This is what you're gonna be good at. And here I am. I'm still doing it.
They were exactly right.
They were exactly right. Thanks, Dad. Mom.
Ooh, I like this one.
Yeah, this one is interesting. I did. Well, it wasn't more of a connection. It was more of like, ooh, he's cute. Like, I want to get his number. Who is this guy? We were at a track meet and I kept hearing his name being called out because he kept winning everything. And I was like, who is this guy? And anyways, yes, I get to say I had a crush when I first met him. And after the first date, I was like, yes, he's going to be my husband.
She was, man. She was like...
It's like, you're mine.
This is it.
You're mine.
I was like, is this it? Okay.
He's like, all right, no more girls. I'm the only girl in your life.
And that's the way it was.
Yep.
But now it's all different.
Shut up.
So, University of Texas. I actually, like Ashtin, grew up as an Aggie. My grandpa went to A&M. My cousins went to A&M. Had A&M lunchbox going to school in high school. But, I mean, Trey Hardy was at UT. Mario Satania was at UT, the Olympian and Olympic coach. And I will never forget Mario's letter he wrote me. I was crying when I read it, and I was like, this guy wants to coach me. I want to be an Olympian. That's the standard at UT, and that's the standard I want to be a part of. So
yeah,
it just made sense.
It's a pretty incredible story. Yeah, I was a little confused because, yes, I grew up in Aggie. Parents were in track at A&M, and then I started dating Wolf, and he went to UT. And I took a visit to UT only because he was there. And lo and behold, started falling in love with the place. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Ended up going to A&M. It was okay. Didn't love it. Still wanted to be at UT. Transferred. And then all my dreams come true. Got to be with the one I love and was successful. So it worked out.
Just follow your heart, I guess, is the message there.
Yeah. Okay, so it was a lot more difficult than I made that sound. It was actually one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make in my entire life. I mean, I cried like nonstop for like a week. I didn't know what to do. I was in a way breaking apart from my parents and from my family. And the only person I really had to talk to about it was Wolf, I guess. And even then I wanted to keep him out of it because I was like, I want this decision to be about me, not about you. And I knew what I wanted, and that was to be at UT, training with professionals, training with Olympians, and it ended up working out just great. So follow your dreams.
Smart, strong woman at you.
Thanks, babe.
So our training schedule as multi-event athletes, so I have 10 events, she has 7 events, and ideally we work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, take Thursday off, and go Friday, Saturday. So 5 days on, and during those 5 days we try to get in every event that we have in the decathlon.
Yeah.
So 2 to 3 events a day, no more than 3 events a day, with at least 2 weight training days in there with those.
Yeah, and it depends on the person, like how many running days you do too. Like I would need 2 to 3 at least. He would maybe need just max 2, just because he's already a good runner, so he doesn't need to work on that as much.
Yeah, and I'll say one more thing about our training schedule. It depends on what we're really focused on getting better at. Sometimes you have to narrow things down to, okay, I'm really weak in long jump. I keep getting hurt in long jump or something like that. So you're gonna take a little more time to focus on long jump. So yeah, we train a lot, but we try to keep ourselves healthy at the same time. That's always the line you're walking with training.
Yeah.
For the multi. I like
gosh, this is my favorite question. So he is very good at talking through problems or issues or things that we could be better at. Like in an athlete setting on the track, he sees something that he thinks is, not going so well, or something that I need to correct, like technique-wise. He points it out, we talk it through, try new things until it ends up going better. I really enjoy it because we're always on the same page, and when we're not, we figure it out.
But we communicate everything. Like sometimes it's hard for an athlete to speak up to a coach.
Yeah.
Not in this situation.
Yeah.
She tells me exactly what she's
Yeah,
thinking.
if I'm feeling some type of way, it's gonna come out. I'm sorry, babe. But
yeah, no, it's an open line
But
of
it's good.
communication.
Yeah, it's open. We're honest with each other.
It's not easy, but I would
It's
say
not
it's
easy,
healthy.
but it is healthy.
Yeah.
It's worth it because, in the end, it just helps our relationship, be stronger. And in the end, like happier. I don't know why I said in the end twice. But.
You're right. In the end. In the end, babe. So my worst event throughout high school and even most of college was the long jump. I was always like 21, 22 feet until my fourth year where I jumped 24 and started jumping over 24. And honestly, I don't know why it took me so stinking long to figure out that event. Like I had injuries that kept me from practicing it more, I think. But some things just don't come natural to some people. Like some events just aren't naturally there. But I figured out long jump is a skill that you can develop. And I mean, I'm proud to be jumping over 24 feet and hopefully further soon. Yeah. So don't give up if you're not good at something at first.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously taken a while. Like that's one of my worst events too. Like I first started out jumping 17 feet in a long jump, and other girls who were jumping 20 feet plus would gain like 300 points on me. So yeah, that was something we both had to figure out, and just learning like how to get there, like what steps we need to take. And that was like practicing every day and figuring out that like running off the board is a huge thing, and not squatting, all that stuff that we as athletes, it didn't come natural to us, like he was saying. But
yeah,
it eventually will. I mean, you practice it to make it perfect, just hours and hours and hours of practice.
But it is a process. I mean,
yeah,
I was told all these things to do for years and my body just didn't want to do it. And then over time, sometimes it just clicks for some people. And it clicked for me 1 year, and I was jumping 2 feet further than I was before that. So
So don't give up.
All right, so a comfortable running weight. That's an interesting question, because there's so many different people have different weights that they're comfortable at running,
Right.
depending on if you're a sprinter or a distance runner. But I think you're asking like nutritionally, kind of a general rule that we follow is that you may not need as many sugars and carbs as some people will tell you. We kind of stay away from a lot of sugars, simple sugars, even like white bread and white rice. They're kind of treated more as a luxury than they are like something we go to.
Yeah, like my diet, for instance, right now that I'm trying out, it's called the slow carb diet. I don't know, I read this book that Wolf read like 4 years ago called The 4 Hour Body, only because I wasn't happy with, the way my body was looking. I had a little more, loosey-goosey in some areas that I wanted it to be like tight and fit. And he was like, you should read the book. But I got the main gist of like what I wanted to try, which he emphasized a slow carb diet, which is basically eating legumes, vegetables, and protein. That way it doesn't spike your blood glucose levels by eating too many white carbs, and you're just in like this fat burning state the entire day, which I'm trying it right now because, I'm doing really hard workouts with it as well to see if I can maintain the same energy, without the white carbs that I usually eat. And so far it's going okay. It's been about a week and a half. I've lost 5 pounds actually pretty quickly, and I still feel really good. Still hitting workouts, if not improving on workouts. And so I'm really excited to see how this diet keeps going a month or two into it.
All right, so what kind of supplements do I take, or do we take? Well, first off, we take a multivitamin. I take an RX multivitamin. That's the brand, ARIIX. And Ashtin uses Wellnicity, which you've probably seen on her Instagram account.
Yeah.
But as far as supplements outside of that, the ones I believe in and stick to are creatine and beta-alanine. Creatine for like short bursts and like explosive energy. I mean, if you take creatine for a month, you'll notice it in the weight room and probably on the track too. And then beta-alanine is a lactic acid buffer. That helps in stuff like the 400 and like 800 meter training and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. As far as like the girl stuff, you know, we gotta go through something differently, and I had to keep getting tested because I just couldn't figure out what my body was doing. So Wellnicity helped me with that. I provided some tests, saliva, blood, and urine tests, and kind of figured out what was going wrong, and they shipped me some supplements and gave me exactly the right amount that I needed to have things level off and be more normal, which helped a lot. So thank you, Wellnicity.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty specific to you, that Wellnicity.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yes, training during the coronavirus. Okay.
Training during the coronavirus.
Training during the coronavirus. Well, obviously we're not in the city anymore.
Nope.
We're from the sticks.
The sticks? We got chickens out here.
Anyways, it's not as like hardcore lockdown as it was in like California, to where like gates are closed. You can't like hop on a high school track. Here, we can hop in the sand, on pits.
Yeah.
There's people pole vaulting with clubs.
I know, just put their own pits up. Just, you know, we're lifting in our dad's parking spot. It's pretty hilarious. I don't know, you'll see later, but yeah, we're just kind of making do with what we have.
Making it work.
So I don't know if we were disappointed, because in a way, like, we couldn't compete this year. Everything was canceled. All the track meets were canceled. So it would have been a joke if we would have just showed up to the Olympic trials, like, expecting to do our best and compete at our peak, when we haven't really got to practice our, you know, events. So I'm not disappointed, and I think it gave us the opportunity to reflect back on practice we had at Santa Barbara Track Club, reflect on if we were getting better or not. And we didn't think that we were, so that's why we're back in Texas.
Yeah, I think we'll be more ready next year than we would have been this year.
For sure.
Both of us.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, it is competitive, track and field. It's like mano y mano.
Yeah.
Y mano y mano. Personally though, I don't think that I've been in a situation where I've gotten that riled up in competition. I'm usually just competing against myself and trying to like get better, which is probably something I need to work on. I probably need to be a little more pissed off like this girl.
I don't know how he does that. I mean, yeah, it's a self-competition, trying to improving yourself, but like when I get in a meet, I pick off the girls like, okay, I need to beat her in this event, I need to beat her in this event, you know, while also like focusing on like, what do I need to execute in order to jump this high, throw this far. But one of the competitors, I don't know if she watches our vlog, that just lights a fire underneath me when something happens. Kaylee Hinton. We've been competing together since high school, doing the multi together, and every year it's so funny. She would win nationals and I would win nationals. She would win nationals, I would win summer track. And it just never failed that come down to the 800 and try to beat each other. Even in college, we'd compete against each other, which, you know, was always awesome because she pushed me, motivated me to be better, to step out of my comfort zone and to really just go for it. So thank you, Kaylee. So pre-competition ritual. In the mornings of a HEP, I think of both days, I like to wake up 3 to 4 hours early and get a morning shakeout because I don't know what I'll be feeling that day, and it's much easier to go to the track when your body's already kind of loosened up. So I like to do a shakeout and always put a braid in my hair. So that's one of my rituals.
And she does her makeup and sitting in the sink before the meet. She sits in the sink.
I sit in the sink, okay. Yeah, it's closer to the mirror than it would be standing.
So
I don't like to stand because, you know, I don't want to put more time on my legs than it already needs to be.
It's the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, thanks, babe. Okay, what's yours? Well, you didn't tell us yours.
I don't have one.
You
I
don't
just
have one?
show up and run.
Okay,
All
right. Wolf's too cool. Wolf just shows up and runs.
All right, so favorite workouts. I also had a question about 1,000 meter training, so this kind of is answering the same question. One of my favorites to test fitness, it's kind of old school, but it's just a 400 meter and about 60 flat, minute off, 400 meter, 60 flat, minute off, 400 meter, 60 flat.
Sounds awful.
As many as you can do on pace.
Yeah.
And if you hit like a 65, only give yourself 55 seconds rest. So like, you pretty much run a 400 on the 2 minutes, every 2 minutes.
Right.
You start another 400. So as many as you can do.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I think I've made 2 of those before. Like, only able to do 2. Not 60 seconds.
I
though.
was gonna say,
and
not
not
on
60
pace.
seconds. No, more like 70. But I don't know. I posted something about this on Instagram the other day about the 300s with 3 minutes rest between each. It's like 80-90%. For me, that's like 45s, like 45, 45, 45, or like going incrementally faster each one by a second or 2, or 150s for the 200. I love doing a 150 walk back, 350s, and then a 150, which gets your butt and hamstrings really good.
All right, craziest injury. Oh, where do I start? I've had a couple that have been sent in to like a medical, what do you call it? Like whenever, like a clinic, like they held a clinic.
Oh.
And they presented a few of my injuries to the clinic that they'd never seen before.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty wild. He's gone through some crazy crap.
So my freshman year, I broke my sternum pole vaulting. So I pole vaulted